So it was over a year ago when I featured a watch here on my channel that blew me away. This was the DR-02 from Royter watches. Ever since I did that review, I've actually become very good friends with the brand owner, Danny Royter. Today I have a piece unique to show you guys from the brand. I'm really proud to show this to you. I was one of the first people to actually bring Royter watches to YouTube, and I'm the first person to show you guys this piece unique from Royter. So let's flip the camera and take a look at a watch that is handmade here in the United States with components from Switzerland and California, the DR-02 piece unique. So if you follow me on Instagram or follow Royter Watches on Instagram, you know that Danny Royter, the owner of Royter Watches, is a very good friend of mine. We actually became friends after I reviewed his watch on my channel. I was one of the first channels to ever review his watch, and he has sort of taken off from there. Not because of me, actually Tim Masso wore his watch and currently wears his watch and came out with a special edition with him, and I will throw a picture up of that watch. That has become wildly popular. He made a 25 limited edition of that watch, and I believe they immediately sold out. He sold all 25 of them, and they sold out very, very quickly. Now, Tim Masso, obviously someone who knows a lot about watches, someone who inspired me to make my own channel, really loves Royter watches, and obviously he wears one every single day. Now, this is very similar to that watch. It's very similar to the watch that I own from Royter watches. However, this is a piece unique. It still gets a Valjoux 7750 that is hand finished in New York by Danny Royter. I'll show you that in just a few seconds. We'll do plenty of close-ups of the movement. However, this dial is also something very special, and that's why this is a piece unique. This dial alone probably costs more than most watches. This is a sterling silver dial that is handmade in California by someone who works with Josh Shapiro. Now, Josh Shapiro, if you guys are not familiar, is an independent watchmaker out of California, and the dials that he makes are insane. And this is one of the people that works on those dials. Doing close-ups of this dial, you will see the details on here and the reason why this watch is very, very special. The outer track here is a hour track. Those are Roman numerals, and those are painted onto sort of a hour track, let's call it, on the outer portion of the dial. Beyond that, there is a minute track. On the inside of that hour track, you have an area that is sandblasted, and in different lights, it almost looks like a diamond texture. Then you have the three sub-registers. This is a Valjoux 7750, so you have these little raised registers for each one of those registers. And then you have blued hands, so each one of the registers have hand-blued, heat-blued hands. You have a very long second hand on here, again, heat-blued, and the hands are custom-made and handmade as well. So at the bottom of the dial right here, it says handmade. That's because this watch really is a handmade watch. The hands are hand polished. So what they do here, or what Danny does here, is he heat blues each one of the hands, and then he polishes them back to a stainless steel color or rhodium color. So you have blue on the tip. That is in a glossy blue, that is heat blued, and then the rest are hand polished to that mirror black polish again, basically making it bi-colored hands. I'll do close-ups so you can see what I'm talking about. It's actually really difficult to explain, and I believe he has videos of all this stuff on his Instagram. Definitely go follow him on Instagram. It's Royter Watches. I will put a link to his Instagram down below. Definitely something interesting to check out. Now, this is a very similar case to the watch that I have. He does do a lot of hand finishing on this case. This does not have a sign crown. Intentionally, he actually did not put a sign crown on this watch. He does put sign crowns on all of his watches. This one he did not. And then flipping it over, look at that movement. This is a Valjoux 7750. If I were to show this to somebody on the street, they would not know immediately that this is a Valjoux 7750. Essentially what he does here, he takes apart the entire movement and puts it back together. But through that process, he actually DLC coats or plates some of the parts in rose gold, and he finishes all of the components. So there's black polishing, graining, and obviously he bevels all of the edges, not only on the rotor, but all of the other components as well, the bridges. All of this is hand done here in New York, and actually Brooklyn, and actually right here where it says Royter and number 00, because this is a piece unique, that is all hand engraved, again, by the same person who actually creates the dial for Danny. Some of the work that is done on the dial is actually done here in New York as well, so between New York and California. The strap on here is an alligator strap. It's alligator on both sides. So this is a watch that is worn very regularly by Danny. So you have a very beautiful blue alligator strap that has very large scales on it, and it's very bolstered. And then you have Danny's bespoke buckle on here. It just says Royter on there, and it is all polished. What a beautiful watch, and really, really just very well designed. He wants me to throw it on the time grapher. He wants me to show you guys this watch on the time grapher, so I'm going to do that. I'll do plenty of close-ups of the dial. Price on this, I can't talk about price because I don't know the price on this. Like I said, this is a piece unique. Just the dial alone would cost as much as most watches, I would say. Most, average watches. And then, of course, you're putting in all the other handwork that goes into this, and obviously all the work that goes into a movement like this. It's all very, very expensive. So I don't know what this costs. I know his other watches cost around $6,500, I want to say, in that neighborhood. Danny, don't kill me if I am wrong on that price, but that's what they go for in that neighborhood. He hand regulates all of the watches in-house as well. So obviously a lot of that is done by him. Pretty cool. So very quickly, let me throw it on my wrist, and then we'll wrap up the video. There is no loom here. I will do a quick time grapher. I'll insert that here, and then we will do a loom shot. So the time grapher, here it is on the piece unique from Royter Watches. Really, really good. -1 second per day. Look at that. Excellent. Well, there you go on my 7.5-inch wrist. You can see this looks really good on my 7.5-inch wrist. By the way, this is a 42mm watch. It's just under 42mm, around 41.7 millimeters. It's around 13.3 millimeters thick. The lug to lug is just over 50 millimeters. And then, of course, that crown, which is actually pretty large, especially considering it's a chronograph, just under 7 millimeters wide. So pretty big crown. You also have, I didn't point this out, the Royter logo right there. That is an applied plaque. And then again, it just says handmade at the bottom of the dial. Rather than having like Swiss made or something like that, it says handmade, which is pretty cool. Anyway, guys, I'm going to do my 3 questions with this watch, something that I've been doing recently. So I'm going to start with question number 1. Is it ugly? Absolutely not. Again, this is a very good looking watch, and the amount of handwork that goes into it, it's a handmade watch. It's just good looking. The dial is beautiful, sterling silver. I don't believe it will tarnish because it's essentially enclosed in that case, but it looks phenomenal, and really in light, when you move it around, it looks beautiful. Next question, is it cool? Definitely a cool watch. This is something that you will not see other people wearing, except for Tim Masso on all of his videos, of course, but there are not many of these watches out there. And if you want one, obviously I'll put a link down in his in the description below. You can definitely check out his website, reach out to him. He's a great guy. Talk to him about watches. He is always in the mood to talk about watches. So definitely reach out to him if you are interested in one of these. Maybe not a piece unique, but maybe one of his other models. Definitely reach out to him and see what he's got. Last question, is it worth the price? Well, that's a hard question to answer because I don't know the price on this watch. He doesn't know the price on this watch. It's a piece unique that he's not looking to sell. This is sort of a prototype that he produced for himself. I think this is something that might be coming down the road, something similar to this. maybe with a different movement. There's a lot of things going on with the brand and things that he's trying to come out with and he's working on. So I will be featuring other watches of his here on my channel, specifically the Tim Masso. I think I'll be featuring that actually here on my channel pretty soon as well. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of Royter watches? What do you think of a sterling silver dial that is handmade? What about those hands? Blued and then polished, which is kind of cool. Just a lot going on this watch, and the movement itself, that's the first thing that actually attracted me to Royter watches. I thought that the movement was phenomenal, and I still do. I think it's a really awesome movement, especially for the price on his normal watches, not a piece unique, obviously. For that $6,500 range, you're getting a phenomenal movement. Obviously, Value 7750, very reliable movement, but then he puts a lot of work into it. It takes him like, I don't know how many days to actually finish one movement. It's a number of days. It's not just, you know, a couple of hours. It's days that he works on each one of those movements, so a lot of work goes into them. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. It's very much appreciated. Anyway, guys, I will catch you in the next video.